Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's so great to see so many of you here. My name is Irena Domjanović. I'm a managing partner here in Agilcon, Croatia. It's so nice to see so many of you, and I have to tell you, I'm the one responsible for all those emails that you have been getting. So I hope it wasn't a bother and that you are enjoying yourselves here with us today. We have heard so many wonderful things in our sessions before lunch, and I think now it is time to deep dive. I'm happy to present the first panel that we have. Our topic is how to transform our traditional B2B operation into an omni-channel business model. And on the stage, we will have Hrvoje Supić, our keynote from this morning, our area vice president for Central and Eastern Europe from Salesforce. Then Jasmina Kaluđerović, field sales manager from Milšped, our dear partner and customer from Serbia. Stanislava Atanasova, regional sales director from Salesforce. And Marko Perme, our CEO of Agilcon group, who will be moderating this panel. Enjoy. Please, let's have a discussion today. Absolutely feel free to jump in with your questions, and let's have a great time.
Okay. Good afternoon. Yes. So when Irena started thinking about the name of this conference, when was that, Irena? About 2-3 months ago. So we said, let's do something, which is very current, maybe even a bit unique. Let's choose some word which will reflect, today's world. And we said turbulence. This is the word that we need to include. And I've checked my LinkedIn feed a few days ago, with all the events that are happening. I think that every second event currently includes the word turbulence in it. So it's not that unique anymore. But how I see it, so the turbulence, basically it's not something negative. It basically just means that things are moving extremely fast and with big amount of energy. And it's up to us, actually, how to use these energies and how to actually engage with this movement. So my first question would be, and Hrvoje, Stanislava, don't be pressured to sell Salesforce technology, not yet. So you can talk of it just in your, as a sales professionals. And you're also traveling all over the Europe, not just you two, also Jasmina, I know you're just coming actually from Western Europe. So in all this movement and the energy, how can sales and marketing professionals in B2B, what is the one thing or the two things which we can focus to use what is going on at the moment in the best possible way? How to engage with this energy and movement? I will actually ask Hrvoje to start first. I think he is the most talkative person here, and he did something already in the morning, so you have some practice already.
Hello. Okay, thank you, Marko. So it feels absolutely weird, unnatural for me speaking English in Zagreb, but also this will encourage all of you to show you that you can have international career even if your English is not that good. Okay, so the question was how to use this energy.
All the movements on the market, to everything that is going on.
Okay, let me then give you one thought that I missed to share this morning about the transformation and the way we are, let's say, progressing. So over the last couple of years, I think that the peak of that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. There was a lot of people with the title Digital Transformation Manager. And I always had the feeling that companies are assigning people these roles in order to actually feel that they are really doing and transforming the business. Or transformation manager or similar roles. And I guess that there are, for sure, some people in this audience with this kind of roles. But I think that over the last 1-2 years, we don't actually talk to these people anymore. We are engaging with the CEOs, CFOs, COOs, chief revenue, sales, marketing officers, because I think that this energy has created sense of urgency that things have to change. And I think that this energy is already there, this full commitment of companies. I'm not saying all industries, all companies, but I think that this has significantly changed in this region. Maybe I wouldn't even say 2 years, maybe year and a half ago. So this is already happening. So now, how to let's say use it in the best possible way? Well, I always think, there are turbulent times, a lot of things. The war was totally shocking and even paralyzing for maybe a couple of weeks for most of us. But in the end, the answer is, the only thing that we can really do is do what we do. Be professionals, execute the best way we can, and this is the way how we can make the world best place for us and the whole community. Does this answer your question?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Jasmina.
Is this working? Yes. Okay. Marko, I need to say that I liked so much when you use word energy instead of turbulence, because yes, that is huge energy who pushed us and woke up us to find new and creative ways to catch new opportunities, to create new opportunities at the end. On the first presentation, Hrvoje mentioned turbulence in logistics. Milšped is logistic company, and in our business in the last 3 years, we had a lot of turbulence, problems, changes. Probably problem with increasing of fuel rates. During COVID, we had problem with increasing transportation rates from China, lack of trucks, lack of drivers, and we had totally mess in the past 3 years. So we had to be creative to find some new opportunities. I will give you 2 examples what we did in our company. In the beginning of pandemic, there was a big increase of needs for e-commerce. For example, we didn't have a courier company before pandemic. 1.5 years ago, we decided to establish courier company. Before pandemic, in Serbia, and I think that it's the same in Balkan area as well, people didn't like to buy goods online. They like to feel, to try. We are pretty suspicious for buying. But after pandemic started and today we like to buy online, and we grabbed this opportunity, established courier company, and we started with Serbia. After that, we will establish soon companies Montenegro and Bosnia, Croatia, Slovenia, and that is the big opportunity, especially for us, for salespeople in our company. The second example is also during COVID, there is a big necessity for air freight transportation from China to Serbia because all this mess and problems in sea freight. So in that period, we started with charter airplane from China to Serbia. And that was also a big success for our business. So we are trying to find this new opportunity, something new. I need to say that we woke up after this whole turbulence period. I hope that I answered.
Yeah. I mean, it's all, back to what was also discussed in the morning. Things are not going back to where they were, but you are sailing quite successfully. Yeah. Seeing it as an opportunity, not really as kind of a crisis. Okay, thank you. Stanislava.
Yeah. Okay. So in my opinion, what you said, Marko, this turbulence or energy, I think it really divides businesses in 2 groups. So one group are those who prefer to really stop, wait, see what's going to happen. They prefer the status quo, feel comfortable there. And then maybe when the this turbulence passes, they're gonna act something. The thing is that when it passes, our consumers will be already different, right? So the train is gone. So the second group are those whom Hrvoje and Jasmina talked about, those who grab the opportunity and act. So I would say my answer to your question will be rather waiting. Maybe businesses should invest time in, I don't know, listen to what the customer needs and how they change and what they really want, and grab the opportunity depending on what they hear.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Let's say I'm a tough. I mean, sure, for Stanislava and Hrvoje, this will be kind of a known profile. So let's say I'm a tough B2B buyer, CEO of a mid-market company. I don't want FaceTime. Absolutely hate it when you try to sell me something and your sales guys want to talk to me. I don't want discoveries. You know, this is just I spend time for nothing. This is you who want it, not me. I want to research everything online, or my team will research it online. If possible, I will even buy everything online. So as less as possible contact with you as a vendor. I believe your product, but I want to do it fast with less contact. Don't bother me with generic messages through any channel. I won't answer it because I get 20 of such messages from companies from India to America every day. So challenge for you, Hrvoje, how do you sell to me?
Okay, so change in B2B sales. So what I think about this change, so when I look back when I was starting my professional career, relationship was everything. You could sell absolutely anything with relationship. And I think that during the 2008 crisis, this has significantly changed. And since then, relationship still helps. But if we cannot demonstrate value, we won't sell. And I think that this is something, let's say, fundamentally what has changed in B2B sale, and I think this goes for any industry. So this is, let's say, one thing that at least we are trying to do. Position value, not position products. We are in a business of selling complex solutions that has to be customized for or aligned to every customer needs. So we need to go through this process. We even, let's say, don't want to talk about products. We want to really talk about business outcomes and create a solution that will support the expected business outcomes. So this is one thing. But then there are a few other things that come to my mind when I think this, and this is now happening, I think in B2B, what we see as from our customers. So first of all, B2B, so if you have a large B2B sales force, meaning a lot of people in sales, attrition rates, super high. So this has to be organized, structured, supported, and you also have to assume that your average salesperson is less than 12 months in the role. So this is one thing that I think really affects every industry. You can comment whether these churn rates are at 30, 40, 50, 60%, depends on the industry. Second, I think that especially during pandemics, Jasmina said a few words about this, not only that we changed as consumers, but we also changed as B2B buyers. So why would you need to talk to some guy and blah, 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 when you can actually just go online and do the same purchase online? So I think that a lot of our B2B customers are realizing that there is a significant shift in buyers' behavior, and especially transactional businesses, I don't know, breweries, FMCG, and similar industries are really shifting into B2B commerce to streamline this purchasing process, okay, increase productivity of their sales operations in general without, including reducing the sales force, etc. Then I think the third thing that is also emerging all over the place, including what we do, is simplification of our business. The days of having 500 SKUs on your price list are probably gone. Start with the restaurants. So the place where I live, the menus are less than one page with 3 main courses, 2 desserts, and 2 starters. So I think that we see this all over the place. And finally, automation of our process. So simpler products, automate processes, make it much easier. So these are roughly the B2B trends that we see. There are a few others, but they are, I want to give one example. We have actually one significant project happening these days, and the main driver for the process is that the customer is changing their price list every week. And they have a sales force of roughly 200 people all over Europe, and they have really significant issues communicating those prices and making sure that salespeople are issuing the right quotes with the right pricing. So for them, the only way to control what their sales force is doing is to implement automated system for configure price quote. It's called CPQ. So they've been forced by turbulent times to control what is happening with sales. And by the way, this is super traditional industry, producing glass. So they had SKUs that they were not changing this for years with practically same pricing. So for them, they're in totally different zone, and they need to act. So I think that talking about manufacturing, well, you can say it's a little bit conservative industry coming to talking about IT systems, CRM, etc. But yes, they are now in top speed.
Do you think, Hrvoje, that we will be able to talk about conservative industries at all in a few years if things are going to be changing as fast as they are at the moment? Or will they disappear?
Yes, yeah, that is, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Probably yes. But then these conservative industries will probably be premium priced, human touch products.
So no AI as an added value, as a premium proposition for a customer.
No, but what so we can say reducing SKUs, streamlining operations, inexperienced people in the field. This probably means reduced level of service in many industries. Products are still good, taken for granted, fortunately enough supported by some ERP in the system. But on the front line, I mentioned restaurants. Restaurants are one of my favorite topics. Well, actually, yes, we are getting reduced service at the restaurants, and we are okay with that. Should we all expect the same thing in all other aspects of life? Yeah, likely. Do we want a premium service? Okay, then you go to traditional industries.
Yeah, great. Stanislava, how do you market to this kind of B2B buyers?
Yeah, look, from the marketing perspective, what you described, I think it's totally normal customer. And I would say most of the customers, they prefer not to engage with live people before they are certain in what they want, what they need, and that the brand they're looking at, they trust. So I would say the topic goes in the direction of more engagement between sales and marketing. And I was with a customer who gave us this task, like, I want to do more with less. So I want to sell more without investing in salespeople. Perfect question. Fine, you can do it. You need to invest in marketing then. And it's not extreme these days to see B2B businesses to invest heavily in marketing. I mean, improving their marketing in the direction of trying to mirror what B2C customers are doing. Because if you do your marketing right, if you, for example, give the right content to this customer that Marko described while he's doing their research, if you build the trust before you start the engagement with the real people, first of all, you nurture this contract right, and you bring the salespeople when this contract is when the person is ready. So it's more efficient and cheaper in a way. So I would say from the marketing perspective, it goes into the direction of really smart nurturing of those leads, as Marko described, personalizing the content, making it relevant, making marketers and salespeople seeing the same amount of information. So imagine a situation, this customer is doing a research, I mean, maybe a month before engages with the sales, and then marketers can collect all this information and provide it to the salespeople. So salespeople, they are not starting from scratch. they have all the history, and they can have meaningful conversations. So I guess this is the main point of the marketing and what
So
we need.
it sounds like a win-win. So for this profile that I've described, I mean, I totally liked being sold and marketed that way. And for you as a seller, it makes sense, it's cheaper and more efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Jasmina, so you actually have experiences working with clients from, as you said before this event, south of Serbia to the western metropolis. And there were two words that I would like to kind of hear from you, how you see them in the context of differences between, let's say, different regions. One is, Stanislava mentioned trust, and Hrvoje mentioned relationship. How this trust building and relationship building differs from South Serbia to London?
It's huge difference.
I would imagine.
Honestly, in some moment, some of you mentioned online meetings and like something totally new. Honestly, when pandemic started, we learned in Serbia how to organize online meeting. Before pandemic, we had maybe once per month online meeting, but with some foreign company from Germany, from Poland, from Czech, United Kingdom, not from Serbia. And that is huge. That was huge problem for especially for my team, because I'm in charge for field sales. Because when pandemic had started, we couldn't organize meetings because people worked remotely or meetings were forbidden in their companies. We had to find some new ways to be in focus, to be in contact with clients. Some emails, phone calls. I will tell you one story. In the beginning of pandemic, I scheduled a meeting with some potential client in Belgrade. I sent a meeting request by Teams. On the beginning of meeting, I'm in Teams. She is in Teams, but she cannot hear me. She don't have camera picture. She don't hear me. I called her on phone to ask what is the problem. Well, I have desktop. I don't have microphone. I don't have camera. So that is something what is normal for Serbia, and I'm sure for most of Balkan area. So that was the main problem in our sales department in the first year of pandemic. During some time, a lot of people get familiar with online meetings, especially my team. One of the challenges was also how to make presentation online. In some moment that was impossible for us, because face-to-face you can feel emotion, you can see reaction of clients. So we organize additional trainings for our salespeople. But just to compare situation especially in south of Serbia and western and northern part, in south of Serbia it's very important to organize face-to-face meeting, to go to kafana, to have casual meeting, to have some relationship, and trust will come from that kind of relationship. In the northern part of Serbia and other northern and western countries, it's totally different. You need to present your expertise. For client need to be sure in your quality of your service. Your references are very important, and from that will come relationship and trust. So that is difference. But we are salespeople. We are flexible, so we can make a relationship on both ways. And for the end of this question today, I think that almost half of our monthly meetings are online. because we realized that online meetings saves money, saves time. When we need to organize some important meeting with presentation, it has to be face-to-face. That is reason why we sit on plane and go to Germany, to Poland, to Czech, whenever is necessary. But for some operational things, procedures, it's much better to organize online meetings.
So from what I hear from you, I would say Salesforce is even more important in niche than in Munich. Huh?
Yeah, but believe me,
mean,
they
when
use
you're at
my
Kafana-
colleagues from niche use Salesforce very well. So.
But when you are at Kafana, the information that you store in your Salesforce is much more important than when you are in Munich.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So let's move forward. So we discussed let's say the customer side, the buyer side, but Hrvoje already mentioned a little bit, and in the morning there was a lot of talk about this also. I think that today's sales managers deal with much more challenges, movement and energy than just the market. The churn in sales teams is really huge. I mean, sales, Hrvoje, I think you mentioned 30-50%. This sounds quite apocalyptic. I don't think, that you can even survive
this
on a long...
statement maybe in the audience,
Yeah.
but it's, I think, pretty consistent depending industry to industry. But Jasmina, what is your sales force attrition rate on annual basis?
How many people
leave, change within your sales team?
In the past 1 year, maybe 2 or 3,
Okay,
not so many.
Not affecting you.
It's maybe 10%.
Okay, that would be considered as quite low.
This is quite low.
Okay.
Just to finish the question, yeah, and then so yeah, attrition rate. This is really huge, I think, all over the place in the Adriatic region, the Europe. Not to talk about, let's say, San Francisco Bay Area in this startup world. But it's not just that. Then also what you mentioned is everything is changing. Pricing is changing on a weekly, monthly basis because of the inflation and everything. And then the business models are changing. You know, you started doing new business. So it's a lot of things happening at the same time. So sales management sometimes feels more like some kind of an ongoing crisis management, not even sales management anymore. So how can technology, so how can Salesforce as a technology help in this kind of situation when everything is moving, people are changing, policies internal are changing, pricing is changing, business models are changing?
Okay, so I think that when you talk about general B2B sales, there are a couple of things that are important. I think that I will come to 3, but let's give it a try. So first, scaling. If you have a big organization, you have to make sure that you have consistent operations, again, established, newcomers, etc. So you need to be able to scale. And this is, for example, what was for Salesforce extremely important with such high growth rates, hiring so many people. So having the system that enables you to scale, meaning onboard people, support people, support the whole process, this is super important thing. Because I don't think that in modern time, fast changing world, you can't live without it. So even if you're not growing the business, but if you have a churn, so this comes under scaling. Second is you need to have a way how to capture data. Because in the fast moving world, you have to understand what's happening. And if you don't have a system that can consistently capture what is happening, you actually cannot make any decisions. So for example, I literally every morning when I open my laptop, first thing that I do, I look at my dashboard, which is actually, Salesforce has really good reporting capabilities and pretty straightforward, easy to do. Every sales manager should actually know how to do it, him or herself. And this data is giving you direction. So I think that what I have experienced personally over the last, let's say, 2 years, things are changing literally in 1 or 2 quarters. So I don't know, first year of pandemics, the pattern in his business was A. Second year of pandemics, something totally flipped. Now we have again, so it's really fast changing environment, and without getting consistent data from the field, from the customers, from the team, you actually cannot make decisions, and then you cannot move forward. And by the way, this feedback has to be in real time, because we are really moving fast. So, you know, 1 quarter feels like a whole year these days. So that's scaling, way to capture the data. And finally, equally or even most important is discipline in execution. So somebody will tell you, sales, that's an art. Yeah, maybe, in some part. But it really comes to, you know, if you run something that is not strict, straightforward, has some gray zones, it really requires discipline in execution, which is more leadership exercise than technology exercise. You cannot buy a system and then think that this system will implement whatever process. It is really leadership. But you cannot demonstrate this leadership exercise, again, if you don't have consistent data, if you don't have consistency in how people work. So I think in the end of the day, everything comes together. And okay, now coming to one just comment, what I really think is that one of the challenges, our challenges of Salesforce, we could sell much more, but there are not enough sales managers out there who actually knows how to utilize all these systems. And this generation of people are coming. They are already growing in their organizations. They're already tech savvy. They already understand what is happening. So I think that this is why our business is so successful, because we are there. We meet those people to provide them the tools, but their leadership and their leadership skills are those that will actually make the difference in every company. So okay, this is something that I was saying years ago, not anymore, but now I just actually reminded. So, so if you think that you will transform a company by buying from Salesforce, probably not. Will Salesforce help you? Absolutely. But just signing the contract with Salesforce doesn't mean that you are transformed. There is still a long way to go.
Okay. So Stanislava, with these internal instabilities, how can marketing in B2B kind of help to at least contribute to the stabilization and to some predictability in pipelines and the sales process?
Yeah, so I would like to answer from the marketing perspective and from the sales perspective, if you don't mind. So look, if I put my marketing hat, I will maybe continue what I said before. I would say marketing has so many different directions. So especially in the B2B companies, it's really not about putting some money into media, into advertising, so on. I guess companies really need to make sure that they structure their marketing in a way to feed the sales machine with the right leads, and also to utilize all your own channel to automatize them to make sure that you nurture the leads right. So marketing is really heating those leads, building the trust, and then they go to the sales people. I guess this is the right answer. And from the sales perspective, I would say now it's even more important than before to spend a little bit more time in researching your customers in the detail. So try to ask even more questions. Okay, let's assume we built our marketing machine right. You get all the information about their research, what they want, what they're interested in. But then when you really meet the customer, I think especially now in the uncertain times, you need to keep asking questions, to dig even deeper, what they want, what they need, how we can help them. Because so many sales teams, sales people, they're in a hurry to give an offer, to sell. I guess sometimes we miss this moment, but I think it's very important.
Well, Jasmina, you actually are doing it all at once. So the business models are changing, problems with how to establish relationship with customers, different regions, people, and then you also introduce Salesforce, so all at once. So how, and when we spoke a few days ago, you said, thanks God for Salesforce, you know, how could we do it? You know, this is some kind of a point of stability, so there is, you know, where you go, since the single source of truth. How is Salesforce actually helping you changing all these things at once?
First, for audience to know, we start researching of new CRM solution in right moment, in the beginning of 2020. And my team is very happy because our CEO and top management recognized that we need new CRM solution, like something mandatory, and they didn't quit this project. Even in 2020, crisis was on door for everybody. In most of companies, they quit a lot of projects because they didn't know what will happen in 6 months. We continued with this. We received green light to go with Salesforce and Agilcon. And in the beginning of this year, we had go live and started with Salesforce. We are in the first year of using Salesforce. Our team is still getting used on Salesforce and all possibilities of Salesforce. But what is very important, Hrvoje said that market is much faster. Every changes are much faster. So we need to get information much faster. So now when I'm on some conference or event or ferry, when I see some potential client, some person, some potential lead, I can check in a few seconds on my mobile application, does we cooperate with this company? Is this person in our system? Who from my salesperson is in contact with this company? But 3 years ago, I had to call my colleagues who is in the office. He will check in one system, in second, in third system, and he will need 10 or 15 minutes. And now I can check everything in few seconds. That is the most important advantage. Then we can follow much better all leads which we get from different sites. Then opportunities. Also very important thing. In the past, when we have some lost opportunity, most of them are probably totally lost because we have in some Excels, emails, information about these opportunities. Now we have great reports about all opportunities, and we can come back in 6 months or 1 year and reactivate again this opportunity. So this is just beginning for us in Salesforce, and this is some basic but very important advantages in this moment, in this period.
And they work in London, in Belgrade, and Zagreb,
yes,
Ljubljana, and in
especially
Niš.
Niš. Yes. Honestly, I had some problems when I tried to implement in Montenegro and Albania, but slowly they start to use Salesforce, but slowly, but they use.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I would like to make some kind of an let's say call to action at the end. So I have a feeling that every responsible company at this moment in the world is building some kind of defense systems against what is possibly coming in the following quarter. So it's a big thing. So we're all planning. Sales and marketing departments are thinking about how to make a pipeline double as full as we would use to fill in the pipeline at this time. So really, it's a kind of a really nervous, maybe a little anxious period with lots of energy and movement. Hrvoje, how would you, actually maybe even what are you already doing with some companies in the region which are aware of that, which are building defense systems? How can Salesforce actually help them be as resilient as possible for the near-term future?
Okay, this is a difficult question. But I can say that some leading companies in the region are already really taking steps with the long-term vision, preparing themselves for the future that is uncertain. I'm talking really the biggest companies in the region. And I think the way so first there is a lot of experimentation. Let's see what will work. In B2B world, things are more or less known. In B2C, unknown. Every market, every country, different cultures, different behavior of consumers. So there is a lot of room to experiment, see what will work. Then to have agile system. So Marko, when you were selecting the name for your company, so you were true visionary. So I think that being agile is something that is really important, and building the system that will be flexible enough to support transformations that we are not even aware of, and they are coming, is, I would say, the second thing that companies are trying to do. So this is it. One is experimenting. Don't experiment too much, because let's say there are areas that are well known. Best practices are well known, and there is no need to invent the wheel. In some areas, well, probably yes. Mostly in B2C, because even, I don't know, consultant from, I don't know, UK may not help you really, because the pattern and customer behavior in some markets are not necessarily the same as here. The second topic is this agility, and this is why I think that Salesforce is I would say huge advantage in the market, because what we position is this platform, both in sales and in marketing, which actually enables a company to develop new models, new approaches by clicking, by not involving too many IT people, because these are platforms that are low code, point and click. So that's the whole idea, that you experiment not on IT level, but you really experiment on business level, that people in marketing, in sales and customer service have tools that they can experiment themselves, first by collecting the right information, but they also experiment in terms of business models. One thing, considering that we are talking here about B2B, so we see now, I would say this is one of those major trends where B2B companies want to capture B2C market, of course, if they are in the right industry. So, for example, we have a big bicycle producer, 100% B2B company until 1 year ago. Now they want to capture B2C market, actually using the same tools as B2B commerce, but they just want to extend to B2C. So this is one. And then, but in this B2C, yes, there are a lot of areas to experiment. But this is, I would say, a major trend where applicable.
So it sounds like we don't know what will happen, but Salesforce is a pretty good bet that we'll be able to, from a technological point of view, provide the business that agile technology will be able to follow what everything happens.
Well,
in the
actually,
market.
this is one of the major value proposition of Salesforce, because we are committed to support every innovation that will come, and we've been doing this very well over the last 23 years, and our technology is built to support this. This is why cloud is so important. This is why multi-tenancy is so important. This is why we have 3 releases every year, and every release brings hundreds of new innovations in the system, and our commitment is whatever comes to the market, we will implement this in our systems so that our customers can benefit. Considering our whole ecosystem and AppExchange is the biggest enterprise software marketplace in the world. If we don't have it, our partners will have it, like Agilcon and Gecko, HRM, which we don't do. We are not in HRM business, but we are very happy to have ISVs that are providing all these different functionality. Again, on the completely same platform, same technology, same user interface, low-code platform that enables this endless innovation in totally every aspect of the business.
Okay, thank you. Stanislava, what are progressive B2B marketers currently doing to build the defense systems?
Look, building defense systems, this is, as Hrvoje said, really tough one. But I would say what I saw so far, 3 areas that they're trying to tackle. So first area is the data. So they're trying to put all the data in order, regardless if this is anonymous data in your example. So until the moment you decide to submit your email or whatever to show yourself, if this is anonymous data, known data, customers, prospects, leads, leads, whatever, to put this all in order and then to use it in a meaningful way for marketers, for salespeople, for service, or for everybody in the company. So data is one. The second one is really to reach efficiency by automating whatever process in the marketing they can, so all communication to be automated. And the third area I would say is really trying to utilize every channel you can in a real time.
Great, thank you. Jasmina, so you are using now Salesforce for 7, 8, 9 months. So you have a feeling what's possible. So how do you plan using it and expanding its usage in the following months, also in the context of all the fears that we have currently?
In this moment, we use only Sales Cloud, but we are all in our company. We are all aware about extensive possibilities of Salesforce and what kind of advantage we can get from that. But I will give you some few examples. For example, I mentioned our courier company, which we established 1.5 years ago. Customer Cloud. Service Cloud, yes, sorry. Service Cloud will be perfect solution for this kind of service, because I think that we will be in Serbia only courier company who use something like that, and we will have a competitive advantage in courier market. Then, since we have all this kind of turbulence, top management decided to develop marketing department. Yes, we are a logistic company. We don't have marketing department. We didn't have. We only have some basic things in sales department regarding marketing, but actually real marketing person, we don't have that. But in the next couple of months, we will develop that part, and I'm sure that marketing model will have a big role in this development. Also, for the end, I need to say that we are very satisfied and happy that we have perfect match with Salesforce. Salesforce helped us to be more efficient, to be better organized in the sales department. We still need to learn and to adapt on Salesforce and process, but honestly, all of this won't be possible also without implementation partner, Agilcon. And we are also sure that you are Salesforce and Agilcon are satisfied with us, and that we are good references. We are the biggest logistic company in this part of Europe, in Balkan area, and day after day we are more and more sure that we made the right decision choosing this CRM solution.
Great, thank you. We'll finish on that. We are exactly on time. I think we've passed 5 seconds.
No.
Thank you all for your insights. I enjoyed this conversation, and I hope it was also useful and interesting for the audience here. So, Irena, you can take over again.
Thank you, Marko. I'm really grateful. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.